Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time. There may be drilling, for there's workmen next door in the neighbours that way. So you may hear drilling. You may hear thumping and banging. You may. Think of it as, I don't know, special effects. Oh, the only problem is it's a bit off-putting. I've delayed this today because of... But I haven't read the news, but we are reading the news off the Daily Mail website, so you don't have to. That's the tagline. That's our modus operandi. Oh, the eco-mobs are at it again. The environmental protesters, they're out in force. And Daily Mail asks, will anybody stop them? Well, no, because, you know, because police are ineffective. But yeah, we see a frustrated man begging them to move because he has a sick child he's trying to get to hospital. You see? And this is what they're doing. He's trying to get a baby to hospital. And the police say, we're not going to move them because they're not causing serious disruption. And you go, well, some people are. But they have moved, I think they have moved to Parliament Square now, which I obviously watch Coffee Time, which is what I was saying. Go and block the politicos. Stop their cars, and you might make an impact. Don't bother with, you know, the everyday person, everyday man who's trying to get... You're just going to turn them against your cause. And this is an interesting one. Up and down the country, not just in London, because this is London we're talking about, but up and down the country, have you noticed the high streets? The high streets have a proliferation of American candy shops. Did you notice that? Did you notice? If you didn't, you weren't paying attention. But trust me, there is. And there's been much debate to what's going on in these American candy shops. You know, are they genuine outlets, or is there something a little bit more nefarious happening behind the scenes? Well, Westminster City Council and HMRC did a joint investigation yesterday, and they seized many things. They reckon 215,000 worth of vapes, fake Gucci phone cases, Rolexes and Apple iPods, because they reckon it's a dirty money business. They're using these shops to launder their money. And here is some of the items that they've seized. And again, this was, I think, even a few other YouTubers have actually brought this up, that these stores seem a little bit iffy. Now, again, for some of us with long memories, old people with greying beards, and you know, and no, where'd it go? Where'd my lovely hair go? Can remember back to the 90s. Do you remember the 90s? Do you remember when we were young? Do you remember when, you know, it was before the weight of the world crushed our spirits? Do you remember the 90s? Well, in the 90s, there was an awful lot of auction shops. And me and the missus went in one just to see what it was like. And they bundle you in and they lock the door. And then they do an auction. And there's stooges there who get good stuff. And if you buy something, you get a bag of shite. You know, and that was money laundering. That was all to do with money laundering back in the day. And it seems like they've kind of revised their strategy. Oh, mortgage strain will be as severe as just before the financial crisis. Oh, great. We're going back to the 2008 credit crunch, everyone. This is the Bank of England. They're warning that, oh God, interest rates are going to... Oh God, I'm not going to read that one. I don't want to know. I'm just going to... Can we stick our heads in the sands? Can we ignore it? Can we ignore everything? Yeah, it'll go away. But what I'm not going to ignore is the damage that smoking does to you. And this is a good infogram. And what happens if you quit smoking? Look at that. Look at the impact it has. 10 years, your risk of cancer will drop. You know, a year, your risk of a heart attack will be halved. Wow. Good job I don't smoke. That's the thing, I've got nothing to feel good about. I can't give anything up. I've already given everything up. Nothing else I can give up. It's just not fair. I'm not going to do that story because it's miserable. Oh, this is important. NHS, the political football that is the NHS, are saying that they're under an amber alert. What? This is the first time it's ever issued an amber alert. What, is it short of beds? Has they run out of doctors? No, this is blood. They've run out of blood supplies, and this is the it's the amber alert, which is, again, there you go. So if you want to give blood, you should give blood. But yeah, so there is a website that you can go to register your interest, but I'll be buggered if I can find the URL. Yeah, the blood donor website was very busy today with people being placed in a queue in order to, I can't give blood because I'm a convicted diabetic, so yeah. I think diabetics can give blood, can't they? Mind you, before my diabetes designation, they'd have probably had to squeeze it out of me like syrup out of one of those squeezy. No, just me then. You get one of those squeezy syrup or honey. That's my blood. That was back when it was registering. Was it 110? Oh dear. Oh, we've got court news. This is female librarian Sharon Maudsley. She's a prison librarian. And what's she up? What's she up before the beak for? Well, this is a curious one. She has been accused of molesting numerous men at Kirkham Jail in Lancashire. Yeah, she's apparently molested male inmates 6 times over an 8-month period. Ooh, my computer sounds like it's about to take off. Which is nice. She denies 9 charges in total, 3 for misconduct in a public office and 6 for sexually assaulting the men. Well, there you go. I mean, that's a new one. There's always something, isn't there? We'll have to keep an eye on that to see. They've not got any details in the case at the moment, but we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, Boris Watch. Is Boris? This is taken a while ago. Look, he was out on his run, waving, and here he is with Mrs. Boris, waving. But these are old photos. We want to know what Boris is up to now. Well, apparently, Boris Johnson, our ex-fluffy-haired leader, God rest his soul, he's doing all right for himself. The best thing he could ever happen to him was being kicked out of Downing Street. How so, Darren? How? Because now they reckon he's making a fortune on the public speaking circuit. Yeah. And that recently he went to an insurance industry conference in Colorado, and he took part in a 90-minute fireside chat and pocketed 150 grand for it. That's not bad. That's not bad going, is it? I'll tell you, they're going to want him everywhere. The Americans are going to eat him up like apple pie. Well, good for him. Good for him. Oh dear. After Liz Truss, you're going to beg him to come back. Trust me, you're going to beg him to come back. Well, this story's got everything. This is going political story. This is an SNP minister, Kevin Stewart, was involved in a boozy bust-up an Aberdeen club. Yeah, he's part of Nicola Sturgeon's government, and he got involved in a foul-mouthed 1 a.m. bust-up with another party member at a boozy drag bingo event. Yeah, and he's the mental well-being minister. Love it. The confrontation, they said, was a lot of finger wagging and yelling, with a man involved shouting towards the nationalist politician, "Are we in Birmingham? Are we Tories now?" And there is even there's even a picture. There you go. It looks a bit heated, but he's the mental well-being minister. Here he is going, mental well-being. That's what he's saying. Mental well-being. Possibly, I don't know, but it was at the Cheers nightclub in Aberdeen. Doesn't sound very cheery, does it? Doesn't very cheery at all. But yeah, a member of party staff said his conduct was unacceptable. This is why regular people don't care about politics. No one. Why would they? Oh, I wish I'd read the website before I come on in here. Oh my goodness. This is the story of Grace Crofts. She's 15. She was on her horse, Bella, in Staincross in South Yorkshire. And, well, I'm going to get the clip up. Just wait for it to cue round and you can see what happens. Here she is. And the horse becomes spooked and, boy, that was a lucky escape. But could you see how fast the lorry was going? Again, on the highway, if you know the highway code, you're supposed to slow down when you see animals, when you see horses. That happened on October the 2nd, and the South Yorkshire Police are now launching an investigation into the incident. About time. I mean, crikey, I think someone's leg fell off then. I hope you're getting all this. I mean, that's just disgraceful. That poor girl, her and her horse could have been wiped out by that lorry. That lorry was going far too fast on a residential road anyway. Crazy. Anyway, let's go. This is more court news. This is mother and son, Sohila and Pedram Tamiz. They are landlords from hell. Here we are. They look like nice people. Here she is in mid-flow. She's waggling her finger. And they're landlords from hell. What did they do? Well, I'm going to tell you what's happened to them first. First, they've been jailed for 9 years in total. And they owned a converted hotel in Margate containing 26 flats. And between 2011 and 2021, the pair terrorised their tenants with many illegal evictions. Yeah. Basically, they got masked men to intimidate and bully the people they wanted out. They had their locks removed, families were forced to live in cold, dark conditions, having their power cut off. One victim, Carl Hopkins, had a balaclava clad gang burst through his door, doused him in petrol and knocked 3 teeth out. And then when he came in one day, the locks had been changed and he was forced to live in an abandoned caravan. These people are animals, absolute animals. And yeah, and they employed loads they got pictures of the others who were part of the gang. Well, I'm glad they've gone. Oh, we'll cover this because I think she deserves a mention. Angela Lansbury, the legend from those Disney movies and Murder, She Wrote, among other things. And passed, aged 96 yesterday. But what did the Daily Mail write? Instead of doing a lovely tribute to Angela Lansbury, here she is with her daughter. The Daily Mail, they go no, we don't need to talk about her career and all the great films she was in. We're going to talk about how. Are you ready for the headline? How Angela Lansbury saved her teen daughter from the clutches of Charles Manson. Well done, Daily Mail. Well done. Why couldn't you just write something nice? But they did do. Look, but the way they They lead with this one, and then put the good stuff underneath. Really, you should put the good stuff, and then that as a little story. I mean, I don't think that's the main. Does anyone care? They want to know. Hear good things. Hear good things. Yeah, that they've announced King Charles's coronation, as I predicted previously. It's the first week of May, and we might be getting another bank holiday. We might be getting 2 bank holidays. What do you reckon? But yeah, people are actually asking do we get extra bank holiday. We might do. I don't know yet. It could be that bank holiday is moved for the coronation. We'll have to wait and see. But as predicted, so we can watch a coronation. That's exciting. That's some more history, isn't it? EU news. Right, EU diplomats have been branded out of touch, lazy and arrogant. I wonder who. I wonder who's done this. Maybe was it Nigel Farage? Somebody who maybe was it me? Was it a Eurosceptic who's done this? No, it was straight talking Spaniard Josep Borrell. He's the EU foreign policy chief. He's one of the bloc's top diplomats. And he gave a speech to ambassadors from the European External Action Service, the EEAS, at Brussels' answer to the Britain's Foreign Office. He said, this is not a moment when we're going to send flowers to you all saying we work very well and we're very happy. I do not want to blame and shame, but this is something I have to tell you. I want you to be more reactive 24 hours a day. A European Commission spokesman from Mr. Borrell said that his speech was designed to shake up the house. I like the cut of his jib. Meanwhile, let's go to Tesco's. People were filmed fighting over the reduced items in Tesco's. This is the Brexit Britain I wanted. Mad Max Brexit Britain. This is what I wanted to see. Go on, get stuck in there. I've seen this before Brexit. I've seen these people that hang around the shop. We was talking about yellow tagged items, weren't we, the other day? But yeah, shoppers compete for reduced items. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a cost of living. I've seen this go on like years ago. Crikey, over 20 years ago, when I used to go shopping with the plebs until they introduced home shopping and we get it delivered. We used to see this sort of thing, people fighting, elbowing them. This isn't This isn't a cost of living crisis. Mind you, have you seen the price of Lurpak recently? Have you? I'm trying to get that as a catchphrase. Oh no, watch it! Oh God, I've got some bad news for you. I've got some really bad news for you. There could be a booze shortage this winter. Pubs are warning, and we touched on this earlier in the year about was it carbon dioxide supplies? Yeah, it wasn't me. Drinks bosses. Pardon? Must have been the beans. Said that drinks industry. It's putting me off. It's called drinks. I will start again. Drinks industry bosses have called for the drinks industry and pubs to be put on a priority list. If I look away and not look at the screen, on a priority list for gases, so they can still serve frothing tankards of ale this winter. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say really, but there's a picture of some beer, just to know, just in case Daily Mail readers don't know what a glass of beer looks like. We did this one before, didn't we? We did. Oh, we did this one when they was talking about carbon dioxide shortages earlier, because they was talking about the cost of energy, and that one of the main manufacturers of gases was going to go on a cut back because of the cost of energy. Well, cost of energy reduced prices of, reduced output of gas, less beer. Good news, children, good news. Dame Rachel D'Souza, she is the Children's Commissioner. She says that youngsters should stay in school for longer hours. Why? Why, Dame Rachel? Why? Is it because we want them to have a top-class education and they're all thick and they need more time at school to swell their brains? Is that the reason why? No, that's not the reason why. No. It's not that we want to be the best in the world. It's not that we want to push the idea of British exceptionalism, because we are exceptional, aren't we? No, it's because she wants to help cut crippling childcare costs for parents. And so the longer they're at school, you don't need a childminder. And I don't think the kids are going to want it. So, right. Now, this goes back to yesterday. Now, schools, not only do they have a responsibility for feeding our children, they have a responsibility for caring for our children, because we can't parent them ourselves. That's it. Oh, but Darren, the cost of living. Don't have children. That's unreasonable. Look, we always decide that one of us would be at home. And that's why we're poor. And that's why we live on the lowest property in the property ladder where we are. That's why we don't have holidays. That's why we don't have nice things. That's why we don't have any guitars. Because what was I saying again? Oh yeah, this was a really dumb idea. I don't think the schools can handle any more of this unless our kids were actually learning things, and it was to help them catch up because of the COVID crisis. Then yeah, but this is just, again, it's another problem that the government and you woke do-gooders want to push onto the schools, and you're just going to end up seeing teachers leave because they're going to say, well, I'm not a bloody social worker, I'm a teacher. Anyway, we're going to go back to more court news. This is the story of Margaret Manzoni. She's 73 from St Osyth or Osyth. I can never say it right. The missus can say it right because she knows it. But she's been fined £1,500 in court. Why is that? Well, at Colchester Magistrates Court, Tendring District Council took her to court because, well, I guess you'd call it antisocial behaviour. I guess so. Well, she failed to comply with a notice under the Environmental Protection Act because she liked the mice in her home. Here is a picture of one of the mice. This is from the neighbour's home. Apparently her neighbours, where she lives, you can probably find this on Street View, were plagued with mice, and Mrs. Manzoni, or Miss Manzoni, 73, wouldn't do anything. She saw them as her pets. So we did nothing to stop the rodents running around. And yeah, this was the second time she'd been warned. There's one in a boot. They'd made, look, well, it's two actually, in a boot, made their home. Boom. Kids at home today. But yeah, she blamed her veganism for it. So she got fined £1,500, and the court awarded Tendring District Council costs of £2,395. So that veganism is a bit expensive, isn't it? She basically allowed the mice to run amok. Shocking. Oh, this is a romance. I'm going to show you this. This is our mate Vlad. Remember Vlad? He's a lovely chap. Look, he gave his coat to Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He's the third president of the United Arab Emirates, and also ruler of Abu Dhabi. He gave him his coat to keep him warm. I think it's isn't that sweet? Oh. Okay. Meanwhile, this is Irina. Oops. Irina. It's going to be a big name, isn't it? Irina Tispaneva. Here she is. She's an accountant. She's 60 years old, as I've said, and she's been arrested. There she is. She's been arrested. This is in Russia. She's a Russian grandmother. This is, but why? Why has she been arrested? She's looking at 5 years. What did she do? She went to the Serafimov Cemetery in St. Petersburg, and she put a note on the grave of Putin's parents saying she wished he'd die. Now she's facing 5 years. It was part of a protest, at the cemetery. And here he is with his mum and dad. It's funny because he looks the same there as he does now, doesn't he? So yeah, she's going to the gulag probably. And this is the thing, you don't get any freedom of speech over there. Whilst it may be distasteful, she's been charged with desecration. Now, my idea of desecration is when you knock over or actually vandalise, a grave, but just leaving a note, that's desecration. Thanks for playing. And yeah, 5 years. It's not good, is it? It's not good. It's not a good look. Let's check in on Shane McGowan, who's 64. Here he is. He's in a wheelchair with Kate Moss. Apparently, he has 24-hour care after a lifetime of hard drink and drugs. Asked him if he regrets it. He said, "Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?" I'm being unfair. He was at a showcase of his work at an exhibition called The Eternal Buzz and the Crock of Gold. There you go. It was an art exhibition. He's at, and he's still vaping away. Look at him. Ah. Remember, kids? I thought he was auditioning for Game of Thrones. Did you see the last episode of Game of Thrones? House of the Dragon, whatever it's called. House of the Dragons. House of the Thrones. He doesn't even know where he is. Poor darling. Meanwhile, let's go to the Irish female football team who are caught doing a lovely chant. That's a pro-IRA chant they're doing. Not a good look. Oh dear. That's not a good look. And we're going to end with Axel the Rottweiler, who's 2 years old. Apparently, yeah, she's a TikTok user. She's had 1.3 million followers thanks to adorable clips of her playful, affectionate Rottweiler Nala and Axel. But apparently, Axel, he'd been to the park and no one wanted to stroke him, and so he was upset, and so she posted a picture of him being upset. There you go. And that's today's animal. I've got a feeling that might have been staged. I think she's doing it for the clout. Do you think he really cares? She's probably got a sausage hidden under her chin. There you go. And here's a picture of that. She's thinking, I'm just thinking of the clicks, man. Thinking of the clicks. Well, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do some dog cam. There you go. And there is a cardboard box. Dog cam with cardboard box and cables. There you go. It's almost like an art installation, isn't it? It's like a Tracy Emin, isn't it? It's like a Tracy Emin. I've done enough damage for today. Shall we see if there's anyone? I've got to go and do a bacon sandwich for the missus. Andrew's in, says good morning, afternoon, same to you. I'm all in for protest in the sense whether or not when it disrupts people's lives, it's dangerous and it's stupid. They should just hit the politicos, do Parliament Square, do Downing Street, those kind of areas, that's it. Or around the oil refineries, places like that. Has she been booked? Again, I'm not sure what that refers to. Surely, maybe. Vince says, good morning, Darren. I love your take on the news. Hello from a rainy Chicago. Oh, get us a nice deep pan Chicago pizza for me, Vince, and send it over. Because, you know, I could really do one of those. Oh, Joseph sent a... Joe, he's another one. You know, Joe, he's another alias, you know. It's the same one. Mark Brighton says, Queen, face it alone. You got it, Darren. No, it's not out till tomorrow, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's just a song, isn't it? It's just something they found in a drawer. I'm sure it's going to be great. And Andrew says, Shane has an art exhibition. He does. But remember, kids, don't take drink and drugs and be Shan McGowan. Otherwise, you'll be pictured with Kate Moss draped all over you. Oh, that warning didn't come out too well, did it? That warning didn't come out. Anyway, that was the news. Drink it up.